morning, everybody, and welcome to this roadmap episode of 30 Minutes to President's Club. My name is Armand Farrokh, and I'm here with my co-host, Nick Sigelski. And folks, if you're not familiar with the roadmap episode, every single quarter you beg your product team, what can I sell that's new? And so every single quarter, when your product team doesn't deliver anything on the roadmap, we deliver you something that will help you sell more. And so we will always give you a preview of all of the products, pieces of content, and forms of sales tactics that we're going to be delivering to you to help you get closer to President's Club in Q2 2025. And this is the quarter of the discovery course at last. Nick, why should people listen?
So in this roadmap episode, to get you excited about what's to come, we're going to cover three things. One, some new products that are coming from 30 Minutes to President's Club, which includes our brand new discovery course, how to sell in a way that doesn't feel like selling, which we're going to give you some insight to in a second. Two, we're going to cover, we've got a new club host, a top 1% performer that is going to be added to the 30 MPC Club, who's going to be doing some awesome sales content with us. And then three, the content lineup for Q2, so you can mark your calendar, send yourself some calendar invites, and make sure that you join these things live.
So folks, the biggest thing that we've been talking about this entire month is every single week we've had one of our best discovery guests on the show. Every single week we've written a newsletter breaking down one part of the discovery course. And at last, the discovery course is finally here. We teach you how to uncover massive business problems, how to ask discovery questions that don't make your prospect puke in their mouth, how to balance give and take so your discovery feels like a conversation, not an interrogation, in one massive sub 5-hour course called How to Sell in a Way That Doesn't Feel Like Selling. Now, as much as I would love to rant on about this, we ranted on about this in the studio and re-recorded this trailer approximately 17 times. And so, why don't we just roll that tape in a 3, 2, 1.
Discovery is the single most important skill in sales. But the problem is, most people have been taught to run discovery like a used car salesman. They either spend 90% of their call blabbering on at their prospect, pulling up their NASCAR slide deck, and pitching when they haven't even found a problem worth solving in the first place. Or you learn that you're supposed to ask some questions, and so what do? They literally interrogate the living daylights out of their prospects, asking question after question after question without giving any idea as to what the heck you actually do. So your prospect jumps on the call and they're like, well, I feel like I've talked about my problems a lot, but I have no desire to jump on a call with this person again because I have no idea if they can actually help me or not.
If you want to be great at discovery, you have to be able to do two things simultaneously. Thing number one is you have to be able to uncover massive problems that your prospect believes it is worth money to solve. But at the same time, you have to find ways to give your prospect enough trust in you and your solution so that they are willing to invest more time with you in the first place. And that might sound simple, but it is actually extremely difficult in practice. And if you think about any of your deals in your life that you've lost, it oftentimes can be attributed back to not great discovery. If you actually think about it, if you've gotten ghosted by a prospect, it's either because you didn't really uncover a problem of theirs that they cared enough about solving, or they didn't trust enough about you or your solution, or they didn't get what they were looking for on the first call that they thought it's probably not worth investing more time with this person. If you've gotten in front of an executive, you've pitched to a CEO and got the deal shut down at the 11th hour, it was likely because you didn't uncover a problem that the business cared about, or the executive didn't trust you or your company with the keys to their car. If you've ever lost a deal on price, it's probably because the problem that you uncovered wasn't costing them enough money that they actually thought it was worth spending money to solve, or the value of what you talked about didn't speak to something that they really deeply cared about, and they thought, I don't know if it's worth spending $1 on this.
But if you master discovery, literally the opposite happens. Everything in the sales cycle gets easier. Your win rates go up because you're solving need to have problems, not nice to have problems. Your deals close faster because you're solving massive problems that they need to solve now. And your deals also close bigger because the bigger the problem, the bigger price you can justify.
And you can do all of that without having to feel like you're in this constant tug of war with your prospect over the direction of a call. Good selling doesn't feel like pressuring or pitching or interrogating your prospect. Good selling, shocker, feels like helping your prospect.
And that is why this course is literally titled Discovery how to sell in a way that doesn't feel like selling. Look, you have to get pain. You have to get to power. You have to get timeline and sales to close a deal. But you can get all of that stuff without creating an adversarial used car salesman relationship with your prospects. And so we're going to break down the call in mind-numbingly obvious step-by-step fashion. Section 1 literally covers the first 5 minutes of the discovery call. What the heck do you say on the first 90 seconds to make sure that you come off as a peer, not like a used car salesman? And how do you set the expectation for discovery so that your prospect doesn't interrupt you halfway into the call asking, when am I going to see a demo? Or why are you asking me all these questions? Without having to resort to the weather to build rapport or setting these super cringy, long-winded agendas with decks that make your prospect immediately start multitasking and checking Slack.
Section 2 covers the meat of the call, where we're going to teach you how to balance the give and take of uncovering massive problems while simultaneously giving your prospect trust and confidence that you and your product can solve those problems. And we're going to teach you how to do all of that without having to withhold information from your prospect, resort to sleazy interrogation tactics, or having to shoot a pitch in the dark just hoping that something lands with your prospect.
And then lastly, section 3 covers the wrap and the bookends of the call. What are the questions you ask your prospect at the end of a discovery call to make sure that they're actually worth pursuing a deal with? How do you make sure that they're going to close now? And then how do you get them to close as quickly as possible without chasing all the crappy deals that most sellers would have jumped on 3 more calls with, and without resorting to pressure tactics that lead to your prospects ghosting you 2 calls in because you didn't give them the opportunity to say no to you?
And we're going to take those best practices and put them into different frameworks and talk tracks and questions that you can go steal and use to see success with your prospects today. And if you're still not convinced, at the very end, we're actually going to show you everything that we've taught in this course actually working with real prospects, because we have some real discovery call teardowns at the end where we've taken sellers using these best practices out in the field and broken those calls down with some game tape analysis.
And at the end, you will get your certification for being a discovery wizard. And the reason for that is the real magic of the reps who make it to President's Club is not that they're getting on stage and delivering these amazing pitches, but that they're actually able to get their prospects to forget that they're a salesperson because they're selling in a way that doesn't feel like selling. Alrighty, folks, it is time to get yourself to President's Club by mastering discovery. And a 3, 2, 1, let's roll.
All right, so even though Armand didn't have a chance to discover you, to uncover the business impact of you buying the 30 MPC Discovery course, you might be saying, you know what, I'd like to give this thing a shot. And if you do, I've got good news for you, because Armand, the world's greatest salesperson, is offering a proactive discount if you pick up the Discovery course before the end of the week. Since we just released this Discovery course, we want to get it in the hands of as many folks as possible. And so this week only, up until April 11th, we are offering a $100, a 33% discount on the Discovery course. You can get that discount up through the 11th. There's a link in the show notes to go get it. It's a one-time commitment. There's no recurring fee. I think you'll get some value of it and probably close a couple more deals, but I will let you be the judge of that after checking out the course.
And that's Friday, April 11th. So folks, the other reason that that is a one-time purchase and not an ongoing subscription is, you might remember we previously had what we called the Club Pass, which was courses plus weekly coaching sessions plus community with other 30 Minutes to President's Club listeners. And we actually made the call a couple of weeks ago to formally close down the coaching and the community arms of Club Pass and only focus on courses moving forward. Honestly, what happened is, like, they became this 3-headed hydra of completely different products. And we realized, oh shoot, like, we're actually struggling to launch courses as quickly as you all have asked us to. People have asked for multi-threading courses, enterprise sales courses, discovery courses like this one, negotiation courses. And frankly, like, we were barely even able to keep up with 1 course a quarter, which is the slowest that we want to go. And it was because we were trying to, like, put together 3 products. But the reality is we weren't doing any of those 3 things great. We were just keeping all 3 of them together. And so in closing down the coaching arm and the community arm, 1, all courses, including both the cold calling course and the discovery course, are available for single-time purchase. So you buy it once and you get lifetime access to that course and all the materials associated with that course. 2, this week, both of those courses are at the $199 discount instead of $299. And then 3, what you can expect from us is nothing but the most actionable sales courses that you will find, so that anything you want to learn in sales, multi-threading, negotiation, process, leadership, how to hire, how to coach reps, there will be a course that walks you through that stuff step by step, so you do not have to listen to 300 podcast episodes that we have had to sit through as well, even though they've been awesome. It is the fast track to President's Club, and that is exactly what we plan to deliver you. More courses, better courses on every topic, even with creators other than Nick and myself.
Is that how you feel about me? You feel like you've had to sit through these episodes, Armand? No, the good news about these courses is we can literally take all of the stuff that you and I have learned from 300 plus top performers that we've interviewed, and we can distill it into the most actionable, practical themes and best practices that we've picked up from people. So I've enjoyed it, even if you've been 50-50 about hanging out with me, Armand. But that brings me to our next section of this roadmap, which is some new free toolkits that we're rolling out. So as a reminder, 30MPC publishes a number of different sales toolkits to help you sell more effectively, navigate your discovery calls, etc. And so we've just released 2 in line with this roadmap episode. First is we're rolling out our discovery tree template, which honestly is probably the most helpful discovery tool that I've ever used. I wish I had this when I sold ERP software. A discovery tree is a tool that helps you navigate from the situation your prospect is in to the problems they might be having that your product makes go away, to navigate down to the executive level pain and impact, as well as the business level impact. It's really, really hard, especially if you sell a complex product, to figure out where you take a discovery call. And most sellers obsess about, I got to ask good questions. That's actually not totally the case. You should be obsessing about where you need to take the call, because if you know where you're going in advance, it is much easier to navigate a discovery call. So we've rolled out these discovery problem trees, which are your blueprint to help you uncover massive problems no matter what you sell. So there's a link to get that for free in the show notes. We've also got a toolkit of the 7 different questions that you can use to actually navigate those trees. And we put together our favorite 7 types of sales questions that actually don't feel like sales questions and buy you even more time and discovery with your prospects. Both of those things are free. You can get them in the show notes.
And folks, there is one final announcement and one final person that we are welcoming to the club hosts, and that is David Rosenstein. If you are not familiar with David Rosenstein, he is part of Club 1 at LinkedIn. Club 1 is not President's Club. Club 1 is the top 1% of sellers at LinkedIn, a distinction even higher than President's Club at most companies. He actually has a background in being a magician and had absolutely hilarious, tactical, high-paced cold call reviews and discovery tape reviews, and he is going to be showcasing all of those skills in a free live discovery tape review with myself, him, and one of the SDRs that I mentor, Makenna, as we coach one of her discovery calls in the first tactic teardown of Q2 in April. And that is going to be a direct showcase of 1, what it looks like to take the discovery course and put it in action, and then 2, all the chops that David brought to the table. So Nick, walk us through the rest of the tactic teardown lineup.
All right, get out your calendar, get your pen, and be ready to mark it down, because in May, we are going to be interviewing Johnny Larson, who is, I think, the #1 rep out of all of TalkDesk in the commercial segment, and he's going to be taking you through his 7-figure sales secrets and how he has closed his biggest deals ever. And so Johnny is a super straight talker. He cuts out all the BS with his prospects. If you are looking to get direct and get big with your deals, Johnny is one that you don't want to miss. He's going to be interviewed by Jason Bay, who's the CEO over at Outbound Squad, who we've had on the show a lot. This is going to be a killer episode. In May, we're going to be bringing back KD, Kevin Dorsey, the CRO over at Finally, back by popular request, where he's going to be taking you through how to run one-on-ones and sales coaching sessions with your reps that don't suck. And so if you're a leader where you're like, I feel like my reps are phoning it in on our one-on-ones, or if you're a rep and you're like, my one-on-ones suck and honestly they're a distraction from my selling time, this is one you'll want to listen to, because KD is really, really good at running practical, actionable, helpful meetings with his reports. We'll finish the quarter out with June, where we're going to have Mark Cossaglow come in, where he's going to teach us how to use AI emails to break into enterprise accounts. Most of the AI emails I've seen are total utter trash and wouldn't book an SMB account, let alone an enterprise one. But Mark has a really interesting step-by-step process that he uses to write AI emails that frankly are better than what I can write, and certainly better than what you could write, Armand. And so Mark's going to be taking us through his process to break into enterprise accounts using these AI emails. So they're linked in the show notes to register for all of these. They're going to be really, really helpful. They are free. Sign up, and we'll see you there.
Well, folks, fortunately, we're launching a discovery course, not an email writing course, because apparently I cannot even scribe my own name correctly. And so hopefully in the show notes, what you will find is a correctly spelled link where you can check out the trailer and the landing page of the discovery course. If it sends you to an error page, just know that I should have plugged it into ChatGPT. So go, keep me honest, look in the show notes, click that link and make sure that it actually works for me, folks. And I would love some disarmingly blunt feedback. If you are not signed up for our newsletter, go sign up for it at 30mpc.com/newsletter. Every single week, we send out one tactical breakdown, and I personally read all of the replies from the emails that come in. And so I would love to hear your honest feedback on Discovery Month and what our next course should be. And the best way to get in touch with me is by literally just replying to our newsletter, and I will reply to you even if I take a little bit of time because there are a lot of replies. Alrighty, folks, it's going to be a kick-ass Q2. Let's go get it. Learn how to sell in a way that doesn't feel like selling, and we will see you on the next roadmap. Peace.